Hello, I'm Joel Meeker, and this is Verse by Verse, a short podcast that explores the insights and lessons of the inspired Word of God. Today we're looking at Matthew chapter 6, verse 7. It says, "And when you pray, do not use vain repetitions as the heathen do, for they think that they will be heard for their many words." It's not uncommon for human beings to think that quantity is more important than quality. In this passage, Jesus says that in the context of our communication with God, that is not so. Repeating stock memorized prayers is of no value to God. Some might respond, yes, but Jesus said to pray the Lord's Prayer, "Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name," words we all probably know. But let's ask, would Jesus say don't vainly repeat the same words over and over, and then give us a prayer we're supposed to repeat over and over? That wouldn't make sense. Matthew chapter 6, verse 8 says, "In this manner, therefore, pray." We should understand what is called the Lord's Prayer is actually a sort of table of contents for our prayers. It's an outline. Each line is a general heading for the elements of our prayers to God. Our Father in heaven. We remember that God is in heaven in all His might, and we are on earth, small, weak elements of the creation. We can pray about that in detail. Hallowed be your name. We give praise and honor to God for His protection and goodness. We can pray about that in detail. Your kingdom come. We ask God to hasten the day when His kingdom will be established on the earth, when all people will know Him, when war and poverty and sickness will disappear. We can pray about that in detail. And so on, with all 5 verses of this prayer outline. Far from vain repetition, these verses give a structure to prayers that should be extemporaneous, issue from our hearts and minds. Our Father wants heartfelt communication from His children. I've lived in the Far East. There, some temples have what are called prayer wheels, hollow metal cylinders with prayers or mantras inscribed on the outside and written on paper on the inside. When you walk by a row of them located side by side, you can spin several at the same time. It is believed that spinning a cylinder is the same as speaking the words inscribed on them. Many of us would not see the logic in that. But Christians repeating the same words over and over again are doing something very similar, are they not? Verse 1 of Matthew 6 announced the principle which is then developed by the various following examples, including the one about vain repetitions in verse 7. Verse 1 says, "Take heed that you do not do your charitable deeds before men to be seen by them. Otherwise you have no reward from your Father in heaven." So what seems valuable to humans may not be to God. We value the praise of men, and God does not. From there, Jesus gives examples of the principle. Don't be flashy when you do a good deed. Perform it anonymously if you can. Don't say long prayers in public. Most of our prayers should be private between us and God. And don't repeat stock prayers over and over, thinking the quantity of your words will impress God. They won't. And that list continues. When it comes to prayer, as in every element of our relationship with God, we must be guided not by what seems important or correct to us, but by what He says is important to Him.
Verse by Verse is a companion podcast to the Daily Bible Verse blog, which you can find on the Life, Hope, and Truth Learning Center. Check out the show notes for more.